Welcome to Storytime. I'm your host and author, Cherie Baker. Today we'll be reading from Coffee Cakes and Dragon Eggs, a cozy fantasy set in modern-day England. Enjoy! Chapter 9. Raj settled back into his seat behind the narrow metal desk. Mr. Shepherd was such a bully! Who cared how much a tea bag cost? It was a useless, insipid drink anyway. Not one drop of real magical power. He yanked the top drawer open, counting all the cheap plastic pens. Once he was calm again, he turned his thoughts back to the reason he was here. The imp had nibbled through most of the incoming broadband lines, so there was no wonder the building only had intermittent signal. The question was, how had it gotten here? Between the nullification circle, the dampeners, and the weak ley line, the thing should be starving. However, rather than wither, the creature seemed to be thriving. He clutched the pens tight, staring at the outdated paperclip thing wandering around his computer screen, asking if he'd like to write a memo. Since Mr. Shepherd had destroyed the trap he set last night, Raj would have to start over. But the awful man simply sat in his own office, watching the open plan office like an alley cat waiting to pounce on unsuspecting rats. There was no way to set up an enchanted ward or chalk out magical shapes without being noticed. Raj pulled his phone out and glanced at the menu. His most recent development, an app that made high-pitched tone much like a siren song, would catch the creature instantly. However, he'd be demoted back to apprentice-level magic if Paolo got wind of it. He shoved the phone back in his pocket. Speed wasn't worth missing out on this promotion. He'd have to improvise a spell with what he had, i.e., office supplies. It seemed as unconventional as using his phone to generate the numbers, but Paolo probably wouldn't object to the tool. Raj selected 3 red pens and laid them out like a triangle in front of his keyboard. Hopefully that would work. The orange entanglement was similar to red. After that, he used all the blue pens to make a line from the electrical outlet to his desk. Lastly, Raj sprinkled a little powdered sugar into the triangle. That would lure the imp. Sweet stuff was like catnip to the twerps. After a few minutes, the trap remained empty, so Raj went down the pale grey hall, shaking another sugar packet regularly. It left a trail of the stuff from his desk to the storeroom, over the stairs, and to where the telephone lines entered the building. His soft steps echoed in the exceptionally quiet building. Raj left a generous pile of sugar just outside the cupboard and returned to his desk. However, as morning wore on, the imp only nibbled the sugar once before dashing behind a filing cabinet when Toby walked by. If you've enjoyed this section, please like and subscribe. New chapters will be recorded weekly. Alternatively, check out the description for places to purchase the book.